Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here, back on Flying Pig United. With another cheeky little stream for you guys. How's it going, everybody? Thank you very much for joining us and getting in here for the stream. It is lunchtime. We are here to discuss the latest Manchester United goings-on in the transfer window, or lack of. In fact, at the moment, it's not quite happening as we were hoping. Maybe there's a chance that we can get some business done today. But, you know, at the moment, it does seem that United are just slow. Very slow. Very Harry Maguire-esque in terms of our pace in this Mbeumo deal right now. Anyway, do us a favour at the start of the show. We've got plenty to get into, though. Do us a favour at the start of the show. Smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. Oh, yes. Hit the likes. Give us a share around wherever you can as well. I've not been up long, guys. Just waking up. Done a bit of research. Done a bit of looked at the latest. Was hoping that there would be a cheeky little here we go. But there isn't just yet anyway. But yes, do us a favour as well. Share us around on social media if you could. That'd be amazing. Give us a repost. Link is pinned at the top of the live chat there. You can share it around if you want on X and give us a follow there. We'll shout you out later on in the stream. Let's go, Predator Reborn. How you doing, lad? Mikhail Kramer. So sorry, Timu Shafter's a bit busy, mate. Unfortunately, so he's quite busy in this transfer window. But he said he'd give me some time very soon. Ash Jones, Taz Salford, JRA, Vexico, Mikhail, Samakazi. Yes, legends. I hope you're all doing well, by the way. Hopefully not GTA 6 before then, lad. That would be quite gash, wouldn't it? What has taken so long? Timo has to look into this. Exactly. Timo will get back to you, lad. Has anyone seen the bad news in Austria? I have not seen that, but let's get some bloody love hearts in there. Crikey, that sounds awful, lad. Shit the bed, Mark. Holy crap, lad. Let's get some love in there. That's terrible, mate. Disco Dave says, has Thomas Frank stitched us up with Mbeumo? This has taken so long. I hope not, mate, and I don't think so, personally. We'll get into that. Just forgot to send the fax. Exactly, mate. It's broken down end of the day. They're still using the same original Brother fax machine from the 1980s. So it is a little bit delayed. It'll get through. To be fair, United's still the only club that when they receive a message, it still makes that noise like, you know, like back in the day. We used to get a text message on an old Nokia next to a speaker. Kieran says we should get Here We Go on Thursday. I hope you're right there, Kieran, lad. How you doing, the mustard? Great to see you as well. Tractor Boy, Mark Coughlin, Berber getting in there raw with a howdy. How you doing today, mate? Welcome aboard. Get in there, you beauty. How you going? Everybody who's in here, thanks for joining. Yes, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that jazz. Right, let me get stuck in then to the sort of the lack of the news. I suppose we are currently waiting, obviously, for Manchester United and Brentford to still agree this deal. We were hoping that it would be before this mini transfer deadline. Obviously, there is a little cheeky little break for a week or whatever it is for the Club World Cup and this little early transfer window. Transfer window part on, if you will, is supposed to be for, you know, teams obviously in the Club World Cup to get players in. Manchester United have already agreed a deal for Cunha, obviously, but in order to actually get the Mbeumo deal over the line, it may just be taking us a little bit longer. Either that, or yes, there is a strong link with Thomas Frank and Spurs, and maybe that's what's turned Mbeumo's head. We don't truly know what's going on behind the scenes or in the player's head, but my opinion is that he still is looking to join Manchester United, having previously agreed personal terms with us. And also, you know, Tottenham is Tottenham. So we keep saying that, but that is true. But they do have Thomas Frank, and we know what it can be like to have a draw to play for a certain manager. It's often, you know, that you see players go and join managers at multiple clubs often. You know, look at Ten Hag with Anthony, or Harry Redknapp with Nico Crankier, you know. There's lots of opportunities there, I suppose, where, you know, a player could join the manager at a bigger club, i.e. Spurs is a much bigger club than Brentford. That is true. And they do have Champions League football. That is true. But honestly, I think it would be proper shithousery from Mbeumo if he didn't sign for Manchester United now, you know. But we have seen that happen before. I remember it happened with Pedro back in the day. He went and signed for Chelsea at last minute. Scummery. It does happen. I mean, at the moment, you know, it does seem like there's talk still taking place going on between the two sides, just trying to finalise the deal. It could be today, guys. It could be today. That's right, it could be. We could get a Here We Go today. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe not. So there's reports here. I mean, this is obviously from Mike Keegan. everything has to be taken with a pinch of salt, obviously, with in regards to these updates throughout the whole of social media, really. But United are continuing talks with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo today, but a quiet day is expected for Manchester United. Brilliant. Brilliant, guys. Nice quiet day for Manchester United. Brilliant. A lot of quiet days lately. Very quiet days. Well, yes, I suppose that is likely. We haven't got anything done yet. It's also reasonable to expect that there could be a deal done before the window. I still am trying to hold out hope for it, guys, but I'm losing my optimism about it. You know, that it's going to get done today. I'm sure it is going to get done. You know, I do think it's going to get done. I think we'll sign Bryan Mbeumo, but are we expecting to get it done before the little mini deadline here? Let's ask the live chat that question, guys. Do you think we'll get it done before the 7 p.m. BST deadline today, in this mini little deadline for the transfer window, which is obviously reopening soon? But do you think that'll happen, yes or no? So yesterday, I said yes. Yesterday, I thought we'd get the deal done yesterday. Because I don't really understand what's holding the deal up that much, to be fair. If you think about it, United already went in with an initial bid, £45 million, 10 add-ons, rejected. And then obviously what's happened then is Brentford and Manchester United have gone in for another improved round of negotiations, basically. And surely they're not too far away from actually reaching an agreement between all parties, you would think, because it's just a case of meeting somewhere in the middle and thrashing out the finalisations, the details, the add-ons, the additional fees, whatever, and getting that agreement in place. So I wouldn't have thought it would have taken a hugely long time. Myself, I wouldn't have thought it would have taken ages, but at the moment there is a delay. There is a delay, and the delay is understood to be obviously in regards to the details of the deal. Like, we have an update there yesterday from Marco Alcaraz that said the delay is finalising Mbeumo's transfer to Man United due to the below: total upfront payment structure, add-on terms. However, agreement is said to be close, and there's optimism from all parties that the deal will be concluded soon. Okay, great. But yes, it doesn't seem like it's obviously dead, but it does seem like it's obviously delayed, which is very annoying, guys, because we just want to get this cheeky little done deal and through the door and get it over the line so we can start thinking about the next players we can bring in, the Gyokereses of this world, etc. Getting a new goalkeeper is obviously really important for us as well. But, you know, as we've said there, United are continuing talks with Brentford. That's the latest that we've got. That's the latest that we know. Could be a quiet day today, but I still think there's a good chance that we can, you know, get it done before 7 p.m. today. But I would not be surprised if it doesn't anymore, because I just figured the guys got, you know, the personal terms are agreed. I just figured that after one rejected offer, it wouldn't be long after that before we actually managed to reach an agreement with Brentford. But there's a couple of things that could be going on here. The first thing, obviously, is Brentford are just playing hardball. They just want to get as much money as possible, and they're prepared to make United sweat and prepared to take a little bit of time to do so. And they've got their figure, and if they don't get that figure, then they're not prepared to sell him quickly. That could happen, but from my point of view, I feel like Brentford would want to get the money early doors. They're losing Thomas Frank, going to have to appoint somebody else, going to have to, you know, have a decent transfer window. The earlier that they've got that money available, and the earlier they know the situation in their squad with Mbeumo outgoing, the better for everybody. You know, everybody can start to move on. They can start to look at targets and bring in transfers and all that sort of stuff. So I think it'd be much better for Brentford if they did the deal early. So that's one of the options that's happening, is just simply they're holding out for more money, and or maybe, yes, just finalising the actual overall structure of the deal. That's also a possibility for the delay. And then I guess, you know, the outside chance, which I don't think is that realistic as we've discussed, the other option is that, yeah, I guess maybe Thomas Frank at Spurs have had a cheeky word in his ear, and everything's been delayed, and there's maybe the feeling that Thomas Frank would like to make Mbeumo a big signing of the summer for Spurs there, and the option is there for him, obviously, to try and pinch him. This is the only time to try and pinch him, otherwise he's going to sign for Manchester United. So that could happen. Obviously, we know Manchester United's a much bigger club than Spurs in pretty much every way. Well, every way. I mean, maybe not in terms of modern stadium. That's about it. That's about the only thing in terms of modern stadium. But in terms of size of capacity, still we've beaten them. But in terms of, you know, that's about the only thing. Facilities or stadium, that's about the only thing. But obviously, Manchester United is better in every way, history-wise, and still in terms of still having chances to win things. So Tottenham, yeah, okay, it's a good club, and yeah, okay, Thomas Frank's there, but I find it a lot less likely that he's had his head turned and he's going to Spurs. I really don't think it's that possible, but there you go. Mohammed says no. Yep, no way. Nah. Yes, says Burberry, staying optimistic now, thinks it could get done. I'm worried too, Mark. I'm getting there, lad. No, says Tractor Boy. No, says Disco Dave. I hate all the pissing about. Get it done today. Well, in theory, Mikhail, lad, it shouldn't take that long. Once they've freshed out some sort of a verbal agreement. Obviously, things have to be drawn up, and it does take a bit of time. But in theory, it shouldn't take that long. Yeah, Osimhen is a machine gun. Oh, okay, yes, mate, Osimhen. We'll get onto that in a minute. That is awesome. You don't know the Cunha one was quick. Yeah, true. That's it. I mean, I think it's because we seem to, go in with a very, very reasonable offer with Wolves, and they've accepted it, and it's there wasn't too much in terms of the way of negotiations. It depends. I mean, club to club negotiations can go very quickly, or they can go. We've seen it in the past. They can take months, even years. Look at how long it took for the Sancho saga. Look at how long it took for De Jong, who never came and stuff. We're always constantly linked. There was a time when there was an agreement in place with Barcelona for De Jong. At one point, was the reports. So obviously, there's a time frame, and it could take a while, but I'm hoping that it's not going to, obviously, but it could do. Do we have a backup if we don't get him? I mean, there's loads of different options, to be fair. There is lots of different players for that sort of position that we could get if he was to go to Spurs, say, which I'm not even thinking about right now, but if he was, then there's lots of different options we could do. It doesn't necessarily have to even be another number 10. We've still got Bruno. We could invest in a CM, like a proper CM there, or even a winger. Well, not a winger, sorry, but like a wing back, sorry. Like a wing back, something like that. Or obviously get that striker in there. But if we have a backup for that position, I mean, we could go and get someone. I don't know. There was links to like Semenyo. There's been links to people like Cliver. There's been links to freaking everybody, it seems. There's been links to Link from the Zelda video games. There's been links to absolutely everyone, guys, basically, is what I'm saying. So we've kind of just got to let it play out. If we can get him, great. It looks like we're getting him, guys. We're getting Mbeumo, guys. It has to happen. It's almost there. It's just not quite there. So I think we're getting Mbeumo. It would be an absolute disgrace if we were to lose out to Spurs in the transfer of this guy after losing the Europa League final to them as well. I mean, that would just be absolutely double insult, wouldn't it? So I'm not even thinking about that. I know a lot of people are worried about that. I'm not worried too much about that because, the situation is he still wants to come and join us. The understanding is that we can still get this deal done very, very soon. Yeah. So no deal at the moment, guys. Talks continue. Maybe throughout the day there'll be updates on this and we can say, yes, we have an agreement in place with Brentford from Mbeumo. But right now, anyway, that is not the case. And we don't necessarily have another option for that position, like you've just said, but we can maybe strengthen other areas. I mean, let's talk about this then for a second here. So just on that position, we've got a player, Zirkzee, who can play there, right? Obviously in that sort of number 10 role for us. I think that's his best position. Well, I don't know if you've seen some of these rumours. I mean, it is from Gazzetta in Italy, so you have to just, again, take it with a pinch of salt. But these are the reports that are coming out today. There's lots of different outlets reporting that Victor Osimhen is dreaming of a move to Manchester United. The Red Devils are studying a strategy to sign him. Napoli CEO Aurelio De Laurentiis wants teams to pay the €75 million release clause, and United are considering including Joshua Zirkzee. You what? so that's the rumour that's going around today, if you've seen it on social media from Gazzetta in Italy. I mean, I don't really understand the basis for this one, personally. Joshua Zirkzee's one of the players that we could do with keeping in the squad, actually. He's a good squad player. He's probably somebody that could really do well playing second fiddle to the likes of the incoming Mbeumo and Cunha. And he's also an option for number 9 as well. I mean, I don't really like him at number 9. I don't think he's clinical or anything. But he's an option for number 9. He can play up there. So I think it'd be silly to let Joshua Zirkzee go right now. But if the point I'm making here is what is this all about? Like, this is a bit of a BS story, isn't it, in my opinion, this one? But just simply because where's the Zirkzee thing come from? Maybe they've only got an interest in Zirkzee. In all fairness, if I was them, I'd look at the teams and the players that we're looking to try and get rid of and go, yeah, don't really want any of them. Let's go for somebody who doesn't want to leave, you know, or you don't want to leave necessarily because they're obviously better and have more potential maybe. I mean, we haven't seen the best really of Joshua Zirkzee. We've not seen the worst of him either. It's just like he's been okay. He's been pretty good. He looks good and maybe he could do well in the squad. I like definite attributes to his game. He's good. But, yeah, I mean, there's obviously lots of other players we could... If we're going to do a swap deal, why don't they want Gashmus Boyland? Why can't we maybe offload a cheeky little Andre Onana or Mason Mount? Mason Mount would tear up Serie A if he wasn't injured. He would absolutely tear up Serie A, wouldn't he? Some of these other players, Anthony or Garnacho even, whoever. So I don't really understand this Zirkzee link. I don't want to see Zirkzee sold or swapped or lose out on Zirkzee just because I think he could be really good for us. We haven't really seen anything mesmerising, but he could be really good for us. He's still got a good role in the squad to play, I think. So Zirkzee has a bit of football intelligence about him, and I like that. Then we've got to give him a chance. But I'll ask the live chat, guys. Would you swap Zirkzee plus a bit of cash for Viktor Osimhen? I mean, Viktor Osimhen would be a fantastic addition to the club, guys. Right? So let's think about it. Obviously, I prefer Gyokeres. You know my stance on it. I've talked about this. If Osimhen really wanted to come to Manchester United, then he would come for not an insane amount of money then, wouldn't he? If he wanted to come, it would have to be a reasonable sort of fee. We're talking 250k a week salary max. And that is the absolute top limit. Because any more than that, it's just we're gambling on somebody coming to not be a mercenary. And it's not good. So, I mean, we've talked about Osimhen being a bit of a mercenary type, maybe just looking to go to clubs just for money purposes, basically. You know, obviously he fell out of sorts there at Napoli, went on loan or whatever to Gala, and you know, it's just like there's obviously he might be a bit of a problem sometimes. That's the way I look at it. Plus, also, you know, ego, money. It's an expensive signing. It would cost a heck of a lot of cash, and then also the weekly salary as well. But no doubt in Osimhen is a very, very good player. I mean, he's absolutely rapid. Goal-scoring record's good. You know, obviously we'd cry out for him right now. If we could not get Gyokeres, we'd be buzzing if we got Osimhen, wouldn't we? If we could not get Gyokeres, then we all say, yes, okay, Osimhen's a good option. It's not the ideal situation, as I've just discussed, but it is a great option still. So Osimhen is being discussed, and you know, there's reports from Gazzetta saying that it's his dream to move to United. I find it all very much a load of nonsense coming out from this rag in Italy. But you never know. I suppose there could be some basis for Osimhen. Maybe we've had some contact because obviously you've got to have essentially a backup plan, don't you? A plan B. If we can't get Gyokeres, if that's being worked on and it's not going to end up happening, then you have to go and get somebody else who's got a bit of bottle about them, who can score a lot of goals at the highest level. I mean, it would be interesting, wouldn't it? Very, very interesting to see it happen. It's less likely, I think, than the Gyokeres signing, though. Myself, I feel like if anybody wants to go and join a team that has Champions League football right now, you know, it's probably somebody like Osimhen. He seems to follow, you know, the cash around as well, or be more interested in the cash. There was talks of his agent speaking to teams in Saudi, and, you know, he couldn't even reach an agreement with teams in Saudi. So I don't really understand what's going on there, because I'm sure they'd probably offer him an insane amount of money to play there. But, yeah, exactly there. That's what I'm saying, McKay. So there's other players that we could maybe do a deal for. That's it. The initial fee's crazy. But if you could do a swap, I mean, in theory, it's a nice idea, isn't it? If you could swap a player in the opposite direction, and then it means that you only have to pay 25 million to them for Osimhen. Let's say we give them Garnacho and 25 million. I think most of us would be happy with that, wouldn't we? For a player that wants to go out, and then you're getting a player who's like, you know, one of the sort of better strikers in the world right now, in your team, and it's only costing you a bit of money, really. We will all be quite happy with that, I think. Okay, so Irfane says no, we wouldn't want to do a swap deal for Zirkzee. Amelia says yes. Jamie says no. Get rid of Rasmus. Well, he's another one, isn't he? Yes, but only if the Gyokeres deal is off. Yeah, fair play, yeah. Only if Gyokeres is coming too. Well, if the Gyokeres deal doesn't happen, or he ends up going somewhere else, then certainly a player like Osimhen would be a decent signing, wouldn't he? Be a very good signing. Zirkzee isn't close to being a Bergkamp. You'd rather a proper 9 like Osimhen. Yep, fair play to you, lads. Keep Zirkzee. You're just saying no, just because I don't feel that story. Yeah, no, I don't feel that story either, mate. It's a bit of a nonsense story, isn't it? I agree with you, boss. In terms of a swap, though, I'd like to think that maybe there would be a possibility for us to try and include a player in some of our sort of transfers. You know, like if we were trying to sign a player that like this, it'd be cool to get a player off in the opposite direction. I would love that, in fact. But it doesn't happen a lot for us, Sully. But I would absolutely love it, wouldn't I? I would absolutely love it. Oh, Sully Griffin, nice one, lad. Yes, is that during the England game? I think that's during the England game. Shit. Yeah, England's on then, mate. 7:30 or something. England are on in the UK here, so I'll try and catch the next one, though, Sully, you legend, man. But yes, England versus Senegal tonight. I'm doing a watch along for it on the channel. With no other teams showing major interest in Gyokeres, he must have made a deal with Amorim before he left Sporting. I mean, obviously they would have had a conversation. I'm sure they've had a word, and maybe not while at Sporting, possibly while at Sporting, but certainly, you know, since then. Certainly there's going to be phone calls, there's going to be, you know, they are on contact terms, aren't they, from having previously worked together, previously known each other. So I'm sure there is an element of that to it. You know, Amorim's desperate for him, isn't he? Absolutely desperate for him. But if he's got his mindset on Champions League football or playing for a team that's not finished 15th in their own league this last season just gone, then he won't come to Manchester United. But if he wants to challenge, if he wants to play for a massive club that has potential to get back up there sooner rather than later, or at some point, then he's got a good opportunity there to be coming and be United's main number 9 and play for a manager that he knows to help him and settle in and play to his strengths and everything. So it's actually a really good idea for him to join Manchester United right now in a lot of ways. The only ways it's not is obviously we are in a bit of a state, and also no Champions League. Yeah, thank you so much, Sully, mate. Yeah, so I'm not really going to enjoy the match, mate, to be honest. I'd rather watch your stream, to be honest, lad. But, you know, Piggy must grind. Piggy must keep it going, lad. I'll be watching the game anyway, so I might as well stream, to be fair. I am watching the game. Senegal versus England, guys. Should be a banger. Yeah, no, not expecting much from it. I'm actually worried. I think Senegal are going to beat us, guys. Who knows? Based on that performance the other night against Andorra, I've got a feeling we're going to get done up. Anyway, by the way, if you're just getting in this stream, guys, hope you're having a great day. Do us a favour, smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. Help us get to 100 likes on the stream. That would be immense. Get yourself subscribed if you're new and smash the likes on it and give us a share around if you can. Nice one. Yep, Disco says, Osimhen just feels like another Di Maria to me. We need to learn our lessons. So true, mate. So true. It's got Alexis Sanchez vibes, doesn't it, lad? Now, we don't need those sorts of mercenaries, guys, who are just looking for the most money. If United get desperate and we can't get Gyokeres, then I suppose it could happen, couldn't it? Yeah, but I hope not. I hope we still get Gyokeres first. You think they had an agreement with Sporting, but then he scored a shitload of goals? Quite possibly. So there was a previous understanding that maybe there was like an agreement that in terms of a price tag that would allow Gyokeres to leave. And there's some reports that have said that Gyokeres is furious. I mean, I find it all bullshit again, but Gyokeres is furious with Sporting for asking for more money, basically, because they're holding out for some in the region of 70 million. But yeah, I think obviously it's just a case of meeting somewhere in the middle. It's classic negotiations. I don't think Sporting seem to be in any rush to sell him. They're quite happy to let it play out. But from Man United's point of view, obviously we are in a rush. Yeah, Thornster, it looks kind of like pretty much like it could be a slow one, huh? Definitely. Tommy's going to get tickled by Senegal. You thought Osimhen was a no-go. I think it is a no-go, Gregory. It's very unlikely. It's a lot of money involved for that sort of deal. You know, talking about 75 million euros minimum to get the guy going there, and also the wages involved. You might want 300,000 a week. You know, he's looking at what players are on at Manchester United. He sees Cassie's wages, Sancho's wages, Bruno's wages. He's saying, I'm one of the hottest properties at striker. Well, not him, but his agent. Everyone doing these negotiations, they might want just an absolute insane amount. I've got a feeling there'll be a deal struck with a Saudi Arabian club, actually, this summer for Osimhen. You want someone who's desperate to join us. Hopefully Gyokeres is that guy. Oh, absolutely, 100%, yes. Don't care about England. Been let down by them too many times being 54 years old. I feel you on that one, Jamie. Goodness me. It's been an absolute lifetime of guff for you then. Do you know what I mean? And me. Yeah, we saw that yesterday, Ruben. Interesting, isn't it? Gyokeres removed Sporting from his bios and stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean all that much. I haven't even fact-checked that myself either yet, to be fair, but there are. I did see those reports, yes. Andy Cole was amazing retro. Yeah, I don't think Osimhen's looking for that kind of money. He just does not want to go to Saudi. How much is he on at Napoli? That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but I think he's looking for... I think he is on a lot of money, but I think he's looking for a lot more money. Isn't it a bit odd, other than big teams in Europe aren't already in pole position to sign Gyokeres or Osimhen? Yes and no. I mean, it's big money. It's big money, mate. These players, obviously, you know... are not the most established top players as well. And for the top teams, if you can go and get somebody like, I don't know, like Real Madrid last season, sign Kylian Mbappe, then they'll do that, won't they? So we have to remember that although Gyokeres is amazing, right? Let me just set this out for you there, guys. Although Gyokeres is amazing, and he's had an unbelievable season or two or whatever, he's still not in the top category of the top strikers around the world. And I say that as somebody who thinks he's a great player and has the potential to be so. If he comes to United and does it to the level that he's doing at Sporting, he will be. But at the moment, there's still doubts. At the moment, he's still doing it in the Portuguese league. Look, I've seen the guy. He's a great player. He passes the eye test. I like his goal record for club and country. Brilliant. But I'm just saying, you have to do it in the Premier League to meet that standard, to be really considered top level. Look at somebody like Timo Werner. Timo Werner, guys. Timo Werner, when he was in Germany before he's come to the Premier League, he was a goal-a-game man. He was a goal-a-game kind of man. He was looking really good. He had raw pace for days. He was scoring a shitload of goals in the German Bundesliga. Yeah. But then when he came to the Premier League, I mean, look at the rate. Look at the rate. Look at the drop-off. It's tough. It's very tough. And Gyokeres, as much as I want to say it, he's actually unproven at the moment in the Premier League or, you know, for the top European sides. That's just the reality. Even though I think he's great and he's a great signing for Manchester United right now, it's right now. Right now, Manchester United have no UCL and we're 15th. And Amorim's the manager and he's got that link with Amorim. So it's a great signing for us right now. But in an ideal world, you know, if I'm being brutally honest, in an ideal world, if I could choose any striker in world football and it's the Fergie days and we can realistically go and sign somebody who's a megastar, you know, there's people above him that I would definitely rather still have. So if you're one of these top European teams, I'm just saying, maybe there's other targets. Maybe there's bigger, higher profile, more proven players in the same league that you're playing in or in some of the top leagues that are just more convincing. And that has to be said. So although you could say there's no interest for these players, they must be gash. That's not the case. They're really, really good players and we want them and there's one or two other clubs that want them. But I'm just saying we are shopping around in a slightly second tier sort of situation at the moment. And maybe those top sides are going to go for different sort of targets, you know, whoever's the Gonçalo Ramoses or whoever, I don't know. I'm just saying, sometimes you want, yeah, Isaac would be one, absolutely, Isaac would be one right now, you know, those sorts of guys. Oh yes, that was the dream pairing, wasn't it? Big love, Godzilla, how you doing today, Godzilla? Yes, you legend. Fun Show says he's 26, any player at their 26, 27 will be looking at the best deal for themselves. Remember, they won't be having a sell-on fee. Very true, mate. You're talking about a 5-year contract, probably. It's going to be their last big contract of their career, more or less, because when they're 32 and they're looking to sign a new deal, chances are it's not going to be as big. So you're not wrong. These players are all looking to get their big dream money move. That is true. Players like Osimhen, Gyokeres, you know, these players are all trying to get the best that they can at the moment. So I guess there's no point rushing into any of it, is there? Yeah, I mean, I do say he's amazing because I have seen quite a few of their games. Don't watch the league week in, week out, definitely not, but watched a few in, you know, the Champions League and stuff like that. And also, you know, even his record in the Champions League, you're talking about the Portuguese league, but what about the Champions League then? He still scored 6 in 8 in the Champions League this season, just gone, 54 and 52 overall. All you have to do, if you watch the highlights of him, I know it's highlights, all you have to see is the physicality, the ability to beat people, the ability to finish. So if you're looking at him and saying that he's gash, then, you know, I don't think you know ball, mate. He is obviously a good player. I'm not saying he's the best striker in the world. I've just gone over this. There's definitely players that if Manchester United had options of signing players, if we won the league, if we won the Champions League, if we're the best team in the world right now, and we could just go and get anyone, there'd be obviously a lot more players we would sign ahead of him. That's just the reality. But as of right now, Gyokeres is a very good player. He's got pace, physicality. He's built like a brick shithouse. He's a great finisher. You know, his record does speak for itself. It's not in the Premier League, but there's added extras. He's doing it, you know, internationally. He's doing it in Europe. And the record is so impressive domestically that you think, well, if he could just try and even replicate even a third of that, it wouldn't be a disaster at Manchester United. But if he could do half of it, we've got ourselves an absolute goal machine, haven't we? So you've got to be positive on it there, 1-inch destroyer lad. You 1-inch wonder. Here we go. Funcho says, someone asked me who I will pick amongst Gyokeres, Ekitike, Jonathan David, Sesko. It can only be Gyokeres, Osimhen for me. Then I go Mateta. Every other guy's ain't a good goal scorer. Hey, good shout, Funcho. Let's have a little look at your question there. Let's ask the live chat. So he's just listed 5 strikers that would all be somewhat realistic for us to be able to go and get, I suppose. He's just listed 5. Who would you choose out of all of them, guys, if you could only choose one player right there out of all of them? To me, to me, out of those 5 players you just mentioned, it is still Viktor Gyokeres, 100%. He would be the one. He's still the one, mate. I like his attributes. I like the fact that, you know, he's got that history with Ruben. Probably knows the system that Ruben's going to be looking to play. That is important as well. So I think he'd just be an overall good addition to Manchester United squad, and for Ruben Amorim to get a little bit of confidence in his team again that they can score some goals. Because that's it. We need to add so many goals to the team, and he's going to be somebody that could do that. Obviously, all these players would be good in their own way. I mean, I like Jonathan David. We should sign Jonathan David anyway. He should be getting brought in as a number 2. And then if we could get him, and we've still got Chido Obi, and we sell Højlund, then we've got a nice 3 players there to do everything we need them to for the season in terms of the striker role. Even if there's 1 or 2 injury issues here and there, we'll have a bit of cover. So I'd do that anyway, because he is available on a free. I know you're going to have to pay a lot of money for him still, but it's definitely obtainable. Mateta, it's an interesting shout. Yeah, I do like Mateta. But, you know, fair enough. I see what you're saying. Let's see what you guys are saying, though. You'd have Gyokeres. Osimhen, easy for you. Yep, cheeky little bit of Gyokeres action. Gyokeres. I like your style. You don't even know some of them. Gray, Gyokeres. Yep. Afternoon there, Benjamin Bessemer. How you been, Benjamin? Getting you hero. Daz Salford says Gyokeres. Yep, as long as he exceeds 5 goals and 10 assists, I'm looking at Garnacho, then his addition is worthwhile. True, he only needs to score 4 goals in the league or whatever to do better than Gashmus Boyland, doesn't he? There you go. Funcho says Sesko reminds me of another Werner or Rashford. He running on a poacher. Jonathan David, nobody wants him except the old lady. I'm surprised. I'm quite surprised. I mean, I don't think he's ready to be Man United's number 9, if that makes sense. the main number 9. But I think he could definitely be a good addition to the squad. He's a proper Glazer signing anyway, because he's available on the cheap. Hello there, Siggy. Says, if we get all these players but don't get a new keeper, would you still be optimistic for the next season? Not as optimistic, mate. No. How could you be still as optimistic if you've got an actual flubber hand in goal? He's still going to go and try and claim crosses like this, isn't he? He's still going to try and claim crosses like that, mate. So you've got to address the goalkeeping issue in the team, 100%. I mean, just on that, actually, you know, just on that. So if we have a little look at this, this is a link that's being made now with various different teams. Newcastle are trying to get James Trafford. He remains Newcastle's top goalkeeper target. Burnley looking for around 30 million. I mean, smash a 1 if you'd be interested in a bit of Trafford action. We could definitely do a lot worse. I mean, the only thing I say is that right now, I want us to go and get somebody who is just actually ready-made to slot in there with the experience and a bit of Prem experience or whatever to come in and do the business. So where a Martinez or a Costa or someone like that would maybe come in and make a bit more sense. Trafford, you know, is a great option. I do like it. But again, there's a certain level of uncertainty or development that's going to be taking place. But he is good in terms of being young and having a great ceiling and a great potential. So it depends. Do you go for another young David De Gea? Because when we got David, 18, 19, he was a bit physically weak. Not that he's obviously that age, but you know what I mean? Like, obviously, in terms of experience, you want to get somebody who's a bit further ahead, maybe. Yeah, Diogo Costa. Diogo Costa's a great shout, Marcus Lewis. There you go. There you go. Mike Mynan is available. Swap Gash Sancho for him. Right, I wanted to talk about this, William. Hoping we get Gyokeres and he's like a better Haaland, but without the Ghostbuster. Well, that's I think that's going to be... I think that's going to be a possibility, you know. But then again, you know, we've got Bane we've got Bane coming anyway. My hand is available. Swap Gash Sancho for him. Love that. Let's talk about this. So we talked about Trafford there. Well, reports from Fabrizio Romano just a short while ago today that the deal is now off with Chelsea and AC Milan. Chelsea not willing to meet Milan's price. Deal not proceeding in time for Club World Cup, as Chelsea won't pay the Club World Cup tax. Chelsea maintain full trust in Petrovic, Sanchez, Jorgensen and talent Mike Penders for goalkeeper role. Right? Quite interesting. I mean, there is an opportunity to go and get Mike Mainan. I suppose at the moment, if you really wanted to, if you could. But again, you know, it depends on what players want. We just can't really say that, oh, yes, this player is definitely going to want to come to us right now. It really does depend. So we've got a few options there, though. You know, Martinez is an option. There are talks of Costa, maybe. Certainly he's on a lot of people's lips anyway. You've also got Trafford, is that option there. Mainan, I suppose we could be linked with. We're not linked with him at the moment, just to be clear. But it's obviously Chelsea. But I think they tried to get him for like 15 million or something. Like, very cheap deal they were offering. And so AC Milan wanted a little bit more than that. And obviously they've not been able to reach an agreement yet. They might go back in for another round. But at the moment, Fabrizio says that this deal is now off. Okay, great. Well, I guess he's available to go and get then. I don't like him as much as the Martinez signing, though, because I think, obviously, Martinez got that Prem experience as well. I mean, Donnarumma is the actual man, Retro, but he's reportedly going to be signing, well, he's negotiating a new contract with PSG. Whether he'll sign one or not is another question, but considering they just won the Champions League and they've got shitloads of money at the football club, I'm pretty sure they'll keep him, but he would be the one. But again, it's like, wow, I mean, every club in the world would want him, surely, wouldn't they? So I don't think we're going to get him, mate, even if he was planning to leave PSG, because we just don't have enough to offer these players right now. Yeah, Dad Silver says, I wanted Kelleher, but I'll take anybody over that Mel Onana. I like his style. Yep, Funcho says, study the attributes of both Gyokeres and Osimhen. Look similar. They're both strong, hot players. Great. They can both create goals for themselves. So they know where to be at the right time. That's it. You can just tell when a player's got a knack for finishing and movement and stuff like that. You know, that's why Højlund's so unbelievably gash for us, because he just doesn't seem to have that knack at all, either for finishing, really, and his movement's just not, you know, it doesn't have that sixth sense that you need in order to waft into those little spaces, those little pockets, those little areas. It just doesn't happen for him. You know when you've got a player that can do that. Yeah, oh, you taking old David De Gea right now? Spot on, so would I. Kelleher would have solved the problem. Yeah, but they weren't going to sort us out on the cheap, were they, mate? No doubt. You take Pope if Newcastle get Trafford. That's an interesting comment, mate. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I wonder what would happen there. If they did and they were going to replace him, then maybe Pope would be on his way out. And smash a one, guys, if you'd have a bit of cheeky little Nick Pope action. We could definitely do a lot worse. A lot to be said for that Premier League experience, isn't there? Siggy says, with Onana in goal, we need to be able to score at least 3 goals every game to win a match. Yeah, Benjamin Bessemer, thanks for your comment as well, boss. He comments and he says, not too bad. I'm in the Gyokeres camp. Osimhen is a quality striker. But if what happened to him last season may sour many fans' perspective on him, especially if he can throw his toys out. Exactly. That's what I said earlier, really. The fact that, you know, he's gone out on loan and all that sort of stuff and it's broken down there. We don't need another player that's going to cause us problems and make waves potentially in the future and be stuck on a big contract like a Sancho or something like that. We don't need that, mate. So I agree. It's only like not a last resort, but it's lower down on the list for me at striker than a few options. You know, I still prefer David or Gyokeres, obviously. Yeah, crazy to want a Liverpool reserve goalkeeper. I mean, that is pretty nutty. Yeah. But he was good. He is good, and obviously he's good. He's gone for only I think, is it 12 million or something to Brentford? A lot less than I thought he'd go for. So it would have been not a bad signing at all, mate, to be fair. But obviously they're not going to sort us out. You prefer Emi Martinez. You want players that can speak up, not Garnacho and Sancho. True, mate. Emi's a shit house. Emi will give it the old flap of the gums, mate, and marshal everyone around, won't he? And that's good. We haven't had somebody who's got that level of bottle in the goals since Peter Schmeichel, to be fair. Yep, he's better than Onana, true. But so is everybody, mate. There's a woman who works behind the counter at my post office called Edna. She's got better handling. You know what I mean? You think we have a big problem with goalkeeper coaches due to both goalkeepers being rubbish? Possibly, but, you know, it's hard to really get the best out of a gash player, isn't it? When it comes to Onana, It's not like he's being coached badly in terms of goalkeeper, mate. You can see him flubbering it. You know, nobody's telling him to try and save the ball with a limp wrist, lad. There's a big problem there. You know, if a player's, especially a goalkeeper, I actually think the goalkeeper, right? Now, obviously, there's a lot to be learned. There's a lot to be improved on as a goalkeeper, learning and progressing. But my personal opinion is the goalkeeper is the most natural position. It's the most natural position for a player. Like, if you're a great goalkeeper, if you're naturally great, you've got great reflexes, you know, great athleticism, you know, whatever, shot stopping, you're just naturally good at it. You know, if you chuck somebody in the sticks, like when we were all kids, you chuck somebody in the sticks, people just know, you know, to make themselves big, to dive at the ball, to close down the angle, to, you know, they've got the reflexes, they're brave, they're not scared of getting fucking hit in the face with a ball or whatever. You can see as kids, some are just natural at goalkeeper and others, really most, are not. So I think actually, you know, it's like, I wouldn't even say anything about coaches at this moment in time. I'd just say it's down to the player in terms of Onana just being gash and his reflexes and stuff not being up to it at the moment. I have to say. Thank you so much, Steve Rebello. I appreciate that, you legend. Thank you so much there, Mr. Steve Rebello. Appreciate you, absolute Don. Yes, guys, if you're just getting in the show, thank you for being here. Make sure you keep hitting those thumbs up. We have smashed 100 likes. Get in there. Let's see if we can get 200 likes on the stream. Also, get yourself involved. If you're new, we do, obviously, as you can see, dip in and out the chat loads. And get involved with the community and have a good old discussion. But we will have a Q&A at the end after I've said all my shite as well here. Thank you so much, Zeman, X-Man, for getting in here. Says, you think, Pig, if Højlund put away all those easy tapping chances that he has put over the bar or missed, it's a different season. He scores 90% of them. Gyokeres is a top finisher. There you go. There you go, really. I mean, it's not like he had an immense amount of huge chances, I suppose. There's two reasons why Højlund's not great. Yes, he does miss some sitters. That's absolutely true. He's not clinical in front of goal at all. But the other thing is his movement and stuff is sus. It's suspect, lad, and his touch and his movement and stuff. Not as good, not what it's cracked up to be, mate. So that's it, really. You're not just not able to finish off chances when you get them, but you're also not getting enough of them because your movements and stuff's not great. I understand the team's not great around him as well, and the service hasn't been great. But still, you can see it. It's just not effective enough. He goes missing in too many games, like having a ghost up there, mate. There is no movement. There is no presence. It's just not good enough. So, yeah, obviously, if you could get someone who could finish, like if we had prime Ruud van Nistelrooy, even this season just gone, we'd have probably finished 6th or 7th. We've created enough chances, enough about us to finish a lot better. I'm not saying we'd have gone on and won the league or anything ridiculous like that because we still got all the problems that we have. But if we actually had a finisher, a proper finisher up there, like a Ruud, then we would have done so much better, mate. So much better. Thank you so much, Kay and Joey. Says thumbs up for the pig. Yes, there you go. Superstar says Napoli, especially their president, De Laurentiis, was awful to Osimhen. Yep, Højlund can't press orange juice, says Mikhail. He is not the man from Del Monte. Bring back Voot. He is better than the cardboard cutout. Yeah, exactly, Disco Dave. Harry Kane is a great example. That's it. You look at Harry Kane's movement in the box or even just in the build-up to getting into the box, and it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's not the quickest player. He's not the most physical, but he gets a lot of headed goals. He gets a lot of tap-ins. He gets a lot of, you know, he gets a lot of great little, you know, goals on the end of good movements. You're absolutely right. That's very, very true. You can see it. You know, players have got it. Gary Lineker was another one. Exceptional movement. Brilliant. Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know, to think about Ruud van Nistelrooy cutting across that 6-yard box for the tap-in and stuff. Oh, beautiful. You know, the movement of these players, they just know. Certain players just got a knack for it. Mateta used to be memed under Vieira, then turned into Primar 9 with the new manager. New trim and tucked in his shirt. Could Højlund do the same? He could. He absolutely could, you know. Like, Højlund's still young enough to turn it around. Stranger things have happened than him turning it around and having a good career. But from what I've seen from him, I just don't think he possesses that magic that we need to be a top Manchester United player. We've kind of seen a lot of it, haven't we? We've kind of seen a lot. Yeah. Hey, what's going on there, Nectar? How you doing, you legend? Loving the links with Gyokeres, says Gavin, but the Premier League experience is worth a lot, so I go to Villa with Garnacho plus 50 million and ask for Watkins and Martinez, likely to do a deal looking at their finances. I like that, mate. And there is actually, yeah, there has been a link with Garnacho and Villa. So that's quite an interesting one, Gavin. I mean, I guess it's possible, isn't it, to do a swap deal? Could happen, yeah. Nectar says Garnacho to Villa. There is a link with Garnacho to Villa, absolutely. There's quite a lot of links with Garnacho at the moment. Garnacho to Villa is a link. I think he'd fit in really well at there for Emery at Villa. Actually, be really good. So instead of a Rashford type, like they could certainly get Garnacho. Because obviously Rashford's probably not going to end up going to Villa because he just is on too much money. They can't afford that. Garnacho's on a fraction of that compared to Rashi, so they can afford the Garnacho deal. So that's actually a strong possible link that's going on right now. True, that's true. Ruud van Nistelrooy was known for his quick reflex and ability to anticipate where the ball will be. Definitely, mate. Did you ever see? Has anybody ever seen that that documentary about Cristiano Ronaldo where they test him physically and everything? I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, it's called like To the Limits, or Testing Ronaldo to the Limits, or Pushing to the Limits, or something like that. Anybody ever seen that? But it's basically a documentary, and it's just like putting Ronaldo through his paces. He does a 60-meter sprint against a 100-meter Olympic runner, and then he does the same 60-meter sprint but in a slalom, around cones essentially, and he's quicker than the 100-meter sprinter at that, because he's got that ability to change direction and, that nimbleness and all that sort of stuff. The Science of Ronaldo, maybe that's the one then. Yeah, that's it. That'll be the one, Jamie. That sounds right. But anyway, there's one test that they do, and I don't know if this is bullshit personally. I don't think it was. But there's a test that they do where they, what do they do? Yeah, they've got him in a warehouse with a pitch. And then they have somebody on the corner cross in a ball basically to him, and he's like in the box. And at the last second, just before the ball is kicked, because of the foot shape, and also they do it like in different stages. So they do it just after the ball's been kicked, and they turn the lights off pitch black. And then Ronaldo, just from seeing it come off the foot basically for a split second, knows roughly where it's going to go. And he can't see it, but he's just got that instinct. He has that instinct because he's obviously, he's a freak for a start, but obviously he's trained himself to such a degree that, it's just football's become second nature. He can read the flight of the ball. His movement's brilliant, basically, is what I'm saying. So they tested him in the dark, pretty much. They crossed the ball and then turned the light off. And then he was still able to put it in the back of the net and stuff. It's pretty amazing, really. Who knows what was going on in that warehouse, but I'm just saying, pretty amazing, really. Oh, really? Ornstein just tweeted about Kante to Al Hilal. They're moving mad. Lee Sesko won't be joining, or Edison. Yeah, that's interesting. Let me go and have an actual look at these couple of latest updates that's come through during this live stream. Once again, if you're just joining, get yourself subscribed. We're going to be on here tonight around 10 p.m.-ish, maybe 10:30, seeing as the England game's on. But we'll be getting on for the evening transfer news show as we do every day around about 10-ish. So get yourself subscribed, get yourself clicking the bell icon for notificaciones, and we'll be getting you in there raw. Okay, yes, David Ornstein says exclusive Al Hilal in talks to sign N'Golo Kante from Al Ittihad for FIFA Club World Cup. Dialogue over 34 million moving from 34-year-old midfielder moving from Al Hilal to Al Ittihad on short-term loan ahead of competition. Short-term loan? What the fuck? Just for the competition? Nutty. That's mental, mate. Fair enough then. Quite interesting. Ben Jacobs reports 11 minutes ago, discussions now taking place over Frank's backroom staff. Deal on track. Yeah, so Thomas Frank's getting done. Oh, no. Fabrizio's also said that Gyokeres to Liverpool remains a matter of short time, with final round of talks taking place very soon. Liverpool doing bits, aren't they? Yeah, okay, so there's nothing more come out for United, unfortunately. Manchester United just tweeted an hour ago, the transfer window will temporarily close today at 7 p.m. Found out why. So it's obviously to do with the Club World Cup. Doesn't necessarily look like we're going to be buying the players before then, unfortunately. In an ideal world, we will. But in all likeliness, this is probably not going to be today. But you never know, it could be. Afternoon there, Herb 1234. What's going on? Like Mbeumo, obviously, is the one, isn't it? Like if we're going to get someone today, it's only going to be Mbeumo. But it's very unlikely, I guess, that it will be now, unfortunately, because there's only about 5.5 hours left. Hopefully, when Frank is done and Mbeumo, here we go. Oh, I mean, it'd be pretty worrying unless if it basically drags on beyond this window and Thomas Frank's appointed today or whatever, it would start to get seriously worrying that those Spud Melters could actually come and pinch him. Yeah, those two Saudi clubs both owned by the same people, Pig, so all the same money in the end. Oh, really, Mexico? Is that true? Al Ittihad and Al Hilal are owned by the same people. Are you serious? So they're just doing a short-term loan, getting one player across to help them in the Club World Cup. Mate, that is absolutely wrong. Are you joking me? That can't be right, mate. Are you serious? That's mental. That's crazy. That'd be like City, like loaning Rodri and Haaland to New York City FC for some MLS Cup shite or something. You know what I mean? Oh, you meant to United. Right. Is Spurs in for Mbeumo? Reports not at the moment, Agrippa. Not at the moment, Agrippa Chinhara. It doesn't seem like it at this minute. Right, I'm just going to cover a few little more things that we've got here, guys, in terms of the day's news. As I say, it's quite a quiet day for Manchester United, unfortunately, and it's expected to be reasonably quiet as well. But could see a deal from Mbeumo before 7 p.m. Fingers crossed, my friends. Let's get a hashtag I believe in the live chat. Come on. But at the moment, no deal. Brentford are still looking out maybe to get a little bit more money or to structure the deal. Reports from Mike Keegan says that United are continuing talks with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo today, but a quiet day is expected from Manchester United. We talked about Osimhen and Zirkzee. There is a sort of BS report coming from Italy. I think it's BS that Osimhen's dreaming of a move to United and that they'd be interested in a Zirkzee plus cash deal. I don't want to sell Zirkzee. If we're going to get rid of anyone in the opposite direction, it should be someone like Garnacho, who's one away, or a Højlund, or someone like that. Newcastle's top target is James Trafford, reportedly. Burnley looking for around 30 million. Also, Chelsea's deal with Mike Mainan is off. The reason I'm mentioning these other teams' deals is just because there's a couple of goalkeepers there that could be added to the shortlist, for Manchester United to replace players like Andre Onana. Another good bit of, just a little update from earlier was that after Brazil play Paraguay tonight, Matheus Cunha can fly back to Manchester and complete his move to Man United. So Matheus Cunha obviously is done, but yeah, just to get him in there. All completed, etc. So that should be soon where you see him, obviously players are on vacation and all that sort of stuff anyway. Are you worried at all now it's deadline day? Not at all, Beef Bully, no. Not at all, lad. You know why I'm not worried? Because even if it doesn't happen now, it's like it's going to happen soon. I'm confident in it personally. It's like this window, technically, it's just for clubs who are really playing in the Club World Cup and who are going to have a busy week or two or whatever in the Club World Cup to have extra time to be able to do a bit of business. So it doesn't really hurt them compared to other teams that don't have the Club World Cup and then can just work solely on transfers back here. So that's all it is. It's an early little bit of help for Club World Cup teams. It doesn't stop Manchester United being able to sign him in very soon. It doesn't stop that at all. So I'm not too concerned, lad. No, Mikhail says you don't think it will happen today. Yeah, indeed. Thank you, Godzilla. I appreciate you, legend. He says, have a good day, but keep up the great streams. Thank you so much, Godzilla. You're a legend, lad. Thank you so much. Yes, Fun Show comments. Tottenham are looking at Semenyo because Mbeumo turned them down outrightly. He said he only wanted United. Fun Show, interesting. Well, obviously we know previously that there was interest from other teams as well for Mbeumo when he's chosen United. Like apparently Newcastle and Arsenal were interested in him as well. So yeah, maybe the window's quiet because teams won't want to sell till after the Club World Cup. Spot on, lad. Spot on. That's true. That could definitely be the case. We've already just heard of, this little bit of shithousery going on in Saudi Arabia to try and essentially do a short-term loan for Kante to one team to another. So you're absolutely right. Players, they're trying to keep hold of their players if they're in it. They're absolutely right. 6 days isn't long to wait after waiting this long for the deal. Precisely, Vexico. That's what I mean. It's frustrating. And by the way, just because it's 6 days of Club World Cup, you can still have an agreement. Do you know what I mean? You can still make an agreement between the clubs. Okay, it won't be processed and done, but you can still make the agreement. Like, we could still get a here we go, even during this little 6 day window. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that, okay, it won't be official, I suppose, but you can still get that agreement there even while that's going on. That's absolutely true. 100%. Okay, anyway, well, I don't think we've got really much anything else today in terms of the updates there. It is a slow news day for Manchester United, which is a shame. We're getting a bit impatient over here. We want to see deals done. It's very annoying, but that's how it is right now. We've got the potential to sign Mbeumo still today, so keep your eyes peeled, guys. If we can get it done, I'll jump straight on, obviously, and discuss it. We're also doing an England watch-along tonight, so come and join us for the England game, guys. If you're an England fan or just going to be watching the game or whatever, come and join it with us. Join and watch along with us. It's at 7:45, the kickoff, so we'll be getting going, 20 minutes before or something like that. We can get it done. We can get it done, Niraj, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't stop us doing any deals. It's almost artificial windows. So true, mate. So true, so true. It's just a designed to stop the Club World Cups clubs from missing out, basically, if they wanted to get an early deal done in the summer window. So obviously a lot of their attentions, squad, players, coaches, focus and everything, it's all going to be on that. What if, God forbid, a player gets injured? Oh, yeah, that's true as well. That'd be a problem. Anyway, yes, gash along. So anyway, we're going to wrap up this stream now then, guys. But thank you so much to everybody that's tuned in. You're a set of legends. Thank you everyone who's hit the likes. Keep hitting the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so, drop a like on it. Give us a like spike. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Get yourself involved by subscribing to the channel. And click the bell icon for notifications. We're on here for all the Man United news. We'll cover it on the daily basis. Nice one. Thank you so much, Daz Salford. Thank you so much, every one of you legends, for getting aboard. Hopefully we can do some deals in terms of getting players gone. I wouldn't be opposed to some swap deals either. Hopefully we can get a few players in, and hopefully we can get Mbeumo by tonight. But if not, then don't worry, guys. I'm pretty sure it's going to get done soon. And if not, then Spurs are wankers and they pinched him, haven't they? But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Nice one, Jamie. Nice one, Adam, Robert, Shreshfar, and everybody else as well. We're just finishing Shreshfar, but there isn't much anyway, to be honest, in regards to Mbeumo. We're just hoping that the deal can be finalised by 7, but it's an expectation anyway that it might not be. But if it won't be, it should be done very soon anyway. So that's the expectation. Nice one, Disco. Nice one, Vexico. Thanks everybody for watching. Cheers for that. You can follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United, and check out the website flyingpigunited.com. and check the links in the description. Nice one, Mikhayu. Nice one, Dave. Thanks to all the moderators. Thanks to all the members. Cheers, Daz. Cheers, Mikhayu. Everybody who's got in here, you're a set of legends. Come back afterwards and check out the debate in the comments section. You don't have to let the debate finish there. Come back and have your say in the not live comment section. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for getting in the stream, guys. Have a great day, and I'll keep you up to date. You might see me shortly if there's any breaking news. If not, I'll see you for the England game, and then we're going to do a rundown of the evening's transfer news around about sort of, 10, 15, somewhere around there. See you then. See you later, guys. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/flyingpigunited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/flyingpigunited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.